Hey there everybody, my name is Keno and welcome back after a long wait to your Toronto Maple Leafs franchise mode series here on the channel. It's been a while, I've been jumbling a lot of things. We've had MLB The Show 24 launch and I put some emphasis into that, and that took a lot of time to try and make those videos work. And honestly, I have also been doing some things in my personal life that took away time from recording content. But we're back, and I'm not going to talk anymore about my personal life unless it's in a channel update video. We're going to talk about this team and how this team is doing this season, and currently they're not doing great. I mean, we sit 12, 11, and 2 after 25 games, 1 point out of a current wildcard spot the Red Wings hold, but they have 2 games in hand over us. Past that, there's other teams that are doing really good in our division. I mean, the Senators are killing it with only 3 losses through 25 games. The Canadiens are doing great. The Lightning are doing great. The Sabres are even doing good. The Red Wings, 1 point ahead of us with 2 games in hand. That's not looking great. And then even the Bruins are only 3 games behind us, and they sit at the bottom of the division. This is going to be a hard season for us, but I don't think we need to make any more moves. I think that the squad that we have built over this last offseason and the beginning of this season is strong enough to contend now. I think we can stick with what we have. And if we utilize them properly and we put them in the right line combinations, we might be able to strike success and strike fear into our opponents. But that's what this episode's going to be. We're not going to make any big trades. We're going to go up to the trade deadline, not any further, and we're going to see what this team can do, see if we can turn it around. We have some great scoring. We have good goaltending finally. We have a lot of pieces that can really deliver for us. It's just about moving them into the right positions to make them deliver. So I have made some line changes, and I have waived a player, just Vinny Iorio, because we've had some recoveries from injuries, and let me show you guys what we're dealing with now. So now for our lineup, it's looking different. Matthew Knies slots in on that top line with Matthews and Martyr. I want to see if he can really excel up there. He's only 23 with that high top 6 potential, and he can put up points. So I think putting him with some really good players will help him. Second line is now Grabyankin with Tavares and Holmberg. Holmberg's had a pretty good start so far this season with 2 goals in his 6 games played and a +4, only averaging around 8.5 minutes a night. I have hope for him to really blow up this season finally. Third line is the newest acquisition in Logan Stankoven, who's done pretty well with 16 points in 25 games so far. On line with Fraser Minton and William Nylander, they've done pretty well. And then the fourth line is Iafallo, Faxa, and Robertson. And Robertson is on that fourth line because he's not doing that great. I mean, he's got 8 points in 25 games, 6 of them goals, that is, but he's averaging 12.5 minutes a night. I'd expect it to be a little higher for a guy with his individual attributes and the slate that he's got. He's just not converting. So if we do move on from somebody, it'll be in the next episode, but it might be Nick Robertson. Defensively, we have had some recoveries, and it's looking really good. We have Riley Nikishin because they were doing fairly well. I mean, Nikishin's got 12 points in 15 games. He's looking good. Valimaki has proven himself to be a top 4 defender. He deserves to be up here. I mean, he's got 10 points in 22 games and a +2, logging some pretty good minutes. That's great. He's with Brett Pesce on that second line. And then Keandre Miller and Braden Schneider, the 2 big acquisitions from this offseason, are on that third pair. I want to get them more ice time, but if you look at who's above them, they've all earned it. The only person who maybe hasn't earned it is Morgan Riley. He's got 8 points in 23 games, but he's playing more of a defensive role this season, so I can't really say, hey, you're not doing good, you're going down. And if that was the case, it'd be Riley and Schneider on that third pair. And I mean, we could start that for now and run Nikishin Miller on that top pair. I have no problem changing things up, and that's what the emphasis of this episode is going to be. And then in net, as I said, we actually have good goaltending. Joe Wolves played 5 games, 4 wins, 912 save percentage, and 251 goals against average. Mwah! You love to see it. And Dennis Hildeby has stepped into the role, 6 wins in 17 games. Yes, he's not getting the most wins, but he's giving us the opportunity. He's got 2 shutouts, a 913 save percentage, and 284 goals against average. It's just about converting on the opportunities that our goaltending is giving us. And then past that, we still have players in the minors that can come up and slot in. I mean, Easton Cowan really struggled with 0 points through 20 games in the NHL, but he wasn't getting a lot of ice time. So there's definitely combinations we can make and changes that we can make with the roster. I mean, I wanted to get Jesse Ylonen, and he's doing great. 13 points in 16 games down with the AHL, playing on the 4th line. And as you can see, the ice time allocation is roll 3 lines. He's not even really playing, and he's doing good. I'm going to bump him up for that sake. But we have options. We have a lot of options. Even defensively, Elias Solomonson can come up. If we decide we want to move on from players, we can. Solomonson didn't do great in his little stint with the Leafs earlier this season, only notching 0 points in 3 games and a -7. But I still have hope for what this roster is. And don't forget, we have Brossoit and Forsberg in the minors as our goaltending duo. We're set. We don't need to make any moves right now. We need to see what we can do with what we have. Not to mention Blake Wheeler, 12 goals, 26 points in 18 games. The Marlies are 15-2-1 so far. So with all that out of the way and everything recapped, we are here on December 8th against the Boston Bruins, game 26 of the season. They're struggling, but as I said, their struggles only put them 3 points behind us. They're still fighting us for that wildcard spot. We need to make sure that we let our division and the league know we are not to be trifled with. We are a Stanley Cup contender, even if it might not seem like it. I mean, we're not the powerhouse like the Montreal Canadiens roster that we're running in that franchise mode series, which if you're not watching, go check that out. But we are a powerhouse nonetheless. We have some amazing players. So let's not waste any more time. Aside from saying, if you're liking this content, if you're liking the series, if you like the Montreal Canadiens series, leave a like down below. It lets me know what content you want to see more of, and honestly, interaction and engagement with the videos helps them grow and reach a wider audience that might also enjoy this content. So don't only do it for me, do it for everybody else. Leave a like, subscribe if you want to. I'm not going to do any more shameless plugs though, only at the end of the video. I always do that one. So let's get into this. As is tradition, we slow sim the first and last games of each video. So this game against the Boston Bruins is going to be a big one for us. Hopefully we get off on a winning start here. Game 26 against the Boston Bruins. Let's see, first period. And it's a rough first period. Zaka and Evans scoring goals for the Bruins, and we are currently scoreless. Shots are 15-9 as well for the Bruins. But as I said, whenever you make line combination changes, I've said this in many videos before, you will have a bit of a stutter and a bit of a stumble right off the gate. Let's see if the team can pull themselves back though. Second period. It's not looking like it. Charlie Coyle notches another goal for the Bruins. They're out shooting us 26-18 and currently outscoring us 3-0. Let's see if we can rebound in this third period. I'm not too hopeful though, but we've had some good games before. Let's see, third period. We do come back. Nikishin gets one and Minton gets another, but we don't come back far enough. We outshot them heavily in that third period, but it was too little too late as we drop game one 3-2. And K'Andre Miller goes down with an abdominal strain. He's out till the end of December, so we're going to replace player. That's going to put in Simon Benoit on that top pair. And you know what? We're going up against the Ottawa Senators here. I don't want Benoit logging that much ice time. I'm going to quickly bump him down with Riley onto that third pair. I wish I could get Schneider up. I really do, but Pesci's doing really well. Well, kind of well. And Nikishin is doing very well. 14 points now in 16 games. He had 2 points on those 2 goals in that game. So we got to keep him running. We're going to keep going, though, against the Ottawa Senators here. I'm going to slow sim this game, too, because this is a big one. They've just dropped their first overtime loss of the season, their second loss in 10 games. They're a powerful team. Let's see if we can put them in their place, though. Let's see if we can show them that the Leafs are not a falsity, that we are a powerful team. First period. Okay, a lot of scoring done, but it wasn't just by one team. The Senators open the scoring from a goal by Josh Norris. Grabyankin and Benoit make it 2-1 for your Toronto Maple Leafs before the Senators fight back with goals by Jacob Bernard-Docker and Artem Zub to make it 3-2 by the end of the first. Shots are 16-9 though in favor of your Toronto Maple Leafs, so hopefully we can keep it going, get some more goals on Joonas Korpisalo. Let's see, second period. Holy crap. Well, we scored more goals, but so did they. The scoring opens in the second period from a goal by Artem Zub, his second of the game for the Senators, before Drake Batherson makes it 5-2 for the Senators. William Nylander gets a power play goal, making it 5-3 before Brady Tkachuk makes it 6-3, and then we fight back. William Nylander double dips, getting his second of the game, making it 6-4. Austin Matthews gets his first of the game, making it 6-5. John Tavares ties it up 6-6 before Brady Tkachuk gets his second of the game, making it 7-6 for the Senators, and they have scored a lot of goals on Joe Woll, and it's shocking he's still in net considering they've got 7 goals on 17 shots. We have 6 goals on 35. That's crazy. Let's see how this third period wraps up, though. We're showing the Senators that we can keep up with them. Let's see if we can push them over the edge. Third period. And we don't. Tavares gets his second of the game, making it tied at 7 apiece before Batherson gets his second and Stützle gets an empty netter, making it 9-7 final. And I cannot believe that Joe Woll was in for all 8 goals scored on a netminder. That kind of blows my mind. It makes me afraid that maybe Hildeby got injured, but It is what it is. We dropped that game 9-7. Now we've lost 2 games to start this video. This game against the Bruins, the second one of this video, is deeply concerning because if we lose this one, we drop to the bottom of the division. We need to fight back, and we need to fight back hard. We're going to quick sim this one. It's a game against the Bruins, game 28 against the Bruins in the TD Garden. Let's see, how do we do? And Matthews was banged up, I guess, but we lose that one 5-2. Okay, these lines aren't working, and Wool's not doing good, so I'm going to make some changes. All right, I haven't made any changes to the forward lineups. I just bumped down the second pairing of Valimaki and Pesci to the third pairing. They still have the starting line, but that's it. And it's Hildeby's net now against the Washington Capitals, first half of back-to-back. We are now the bottom team in our division, so if we are going to make the playoffs, we got to go from the bottom to the top. We got to fight here. Game 29 of the season against the Capitals, first half of back-to-back, and we win that one 4-2. You love to see it against the Detroit Red Wings here, who we were just 1 point behind at the beginning of the video, but now we sit 3 points behind. We got to catch up to them. Let's see, can we beat them in the second half of this back-to-back? We do. A nice 8-4 win, and we got the wheels turning now against the Arizona Coyotes, who are about a 500 team. We got to beat them. Let's see if we can beat them in game 31 of the season, and we lose Nylander till Christmas Eve with an injured leg. We're going to replace him and see how we fared. We lost 5-4, but it was in a shootout, so we did pick up a point there. And now we are still second last in the division, but we're only 1 point back again from the Detroit Red Wings and tied with the Panthers. So we got to keep grinding here. We got to keep grinding, even with the injuries that we're accumulating against the New Jersey Devils, game 32 of the season. And Brossois is down for the Marlies. Let's see. It's a 6-5 loss against the Devils. Oh my gosh, we can't keep things going. All right, Christmas Eve against the Columbus Blue Jackets. William Nylander is back in the lineup. He's on that third line. I am keeping Hildeby in net to see if he can bounce back against the Blue Jackets here. I usually give a bit of a freebie to goalies that lose in an overtime or shootout loss. It was a concerning shootout loss, but I'm hoping he can bounce back against the Blue Jackets. They're struggling this season. Can we get an easy win against them? We do. A nice 4-3 win. It wasn't that easy, but it was a win. We're up against the Detroit Red Wings now. We are still 1 point behind them, but they're not in a playoff spot anymore. We're now 2 points out of a playoff spot to the Florida Panthers. We gotta fight. We gotta fight with all our might. Game 34 of the season. How do we fare? Keandre Miller's back. I'll put him back in the lineups in 1 second, and we win that one 5-2. Okay, you love to see this. This is starting to go now. This is starting to go. I'm going to get Miller back in the lineup, and I'll be back with you guys. All right, so we're going to go to game 40, and then I'll take a look at how the team is doing to see how we're faring. It'll be a 15-game marker. I think that's pretty fair. Let's see. We're going up against a back-to-back here. It's still Dennis Hildeby's net as we face off against the Carolina Hurricanes at Scotiabank Arena. How do we do in game 35 of the season? It is a 3-2 loss. Okay, I'm going to keep going here. We're up against a really strong Buffalo Sabres team. They're 8-2-0 in their last 10 and 23-9-2 through the season. If we want to have any chance of climbing these standings, as we aren't currently, we're now 4 points out of a playoff spot to the Florida Panthers. We got to win every game against our division. So let's see. Against the Buffalo Sabres, second half of a back-to-back here. Pontus Holmberg is down with an injured shoulder. We're going to quickly replace him. And it's a 5-2 win. Oh, you love to see that. You love to see that so much. Against the St. Louis Blues here, we got to pick up another win. Even if it's not a divisional opponent, we got to get as many wins as possible. Let's see, can we beat them as Marner, our leading scorer, goes down to a bruised hand? Oh, okay. I'm going to make some line changes. I'll be back. And we won that game against the St. Louis Blues 5-1. Marner is only down for a few days, so that's a good thing. We're going to miss him for about 3 games, if I'm not mistaken. I have Nick Robertson now on that top line with Matthew Nyes and Austin Matthews, and Grigory Denisenko on that fourth line, as Pontus Holmberg did come back in just in time. Hopefully he doesn't get banged up here, as he's still a little injured. But let's see, against the Anaheim Ducks, game 38 of the season. Just 2 more games before we take a look at how this team is doing. And Tyler Tucker's on waivers, and you know what? I might just claim him for that depth, and I'm going to claim him. We're going to claim Tyler Tucker. And against the Anaheim Ducks, we won 4-2. You'll love to see that. We're really turning it around. We're now tied with the Panthers for that last wildcard spot. 9 points back of the Sabres, though. So we are going to be fighting for the third wildcard spot unless we go on an absolute tear. Or the second wildcard spot unless we go on an absolute tear. That's just going to be how it is. We're up against a really bad Calgary Flames team. We have a chance to get a point here. Let's see. Can we beat them in game 39 of the season? As Brett Pesci goes down to a sprained ankle, he's out till the end of the month. We're going to quickly replace him. Nikishin is fully healed. I guess he got banged up. And we win against the Flames 6-2. And look at that! Austin Matthews with 39 goals in 39 games, 61 points. Guys, he has the chance to have a 70-goal season. That would be absolutely insane. I'm sorry if I'm blowing out your ears. I'm speaking a little too close to the mic. Going up against the LA Kings, who are a pretty decent team. for game 40 of the season. Before we take a look at how this team is doing, how will we fare against the Kings? Hildeby goes down to an injured shoulder. Luckily, we have Samsonov, but it sucks that we lose our starter. Marner's back. I'll get him back in the lines in a second. Let me see how they did. We won 5-4 in a shootout, and Matthews got another goal. He's 40-40. That is crazy to me. That is crazy. Let's see how we're doing. We're now in that second wildcard spot, 6 points back at the Lightning. We're catching up now, guys. We're catching up. We're on a bit of a tear. Let's take a look at how the team's doing. I'm not making any line changes, by the way. I'll let you know. Even if people are struggling, we're staying the way it is. That's fairly it. So now I've got it set back the way it was, but we will see how Robertson did. Let's know, though, how our top line has done. And Matthew Nyes has 34 points in 40 games, -6, but I don't care about that. He's putting up points. You'll love to see that development. We know Austin Matthews with 40 goals in 40 games, 62 points in total. Holy cow. And then Marner was absolutely crazy before going down to an injury with 60 points in 37 games. This is going to be a dominating season for us. If we can just keep the consistency, this is going to be a dominating season. On that second line, Grebyankin has 27 points in 38 games, which is fairly good. I love that. John Tavares with 26 points in 40 games, though, is not that great. He's not getting a lot of ice time, though, and that's what I will blame this on. I'm going to see maybe if I can get him some more special teams time, but I don't know what else to do past that. And then Pontus Holmberg, look at that. 17 points in 20 games. You absolutely love to see it. This guy is doing great now. I don't know why it took so long for him to develop. I was actually considering trading him, and he's doing good. He's doing good. We're keeping it going like that. Logan Stakehoven with 24 points in 40 games is a bit of a drop off, but you know what? It's good. It's good production either way. Fraser Minton with 20 points in 40 games and a -12. That's concerning. I said I didn't care about the plus minus from Matthew Nyes, but this is concerning. A double-digit plus minus is concerning. And I will say, as I've said before, plus minus is not a good stat to base a player's defensive metrics on, but in EA Sports NHL world, it's all we really have. William Nylander, though, with 37 points in 39 games, playing third-line minutes, is crazy, crazy bananas to me. You love to see that. Iafallo with 7 points in 40 games, okay. Foxer with 8 points in 40 games, that's fine. And Robertson with 12 points in 40 games. See, he's played 15 games and had 4 points. Not that great. Not that great at all. As I said, I would consider moving Minton around, but I don't want to make any line changes. This team's doing good right now, so we're going to keep it like this. Let's see how the defense is doing. So Riley's got 15 points in 38 games. It's not the greatest point production, but it's still production, so that's fine by me. Nikishin with 27 points in 30 games, though. That's probably the best acquisition made over the offseason. He's done astoundingly well for us. He is that puck-moving defender that we needed. You'll love to see it. Keandre Miller with 5 points in 30 games and a +5. Not what you'd love to see. Not really, but it is what it is. And then Braden Schneider with 6 points in 23 games and a +5. I mean, they're doing good. They're shutting players down. That's all we can ask for. Juuso Valimaki with 13 points in 37 games and a +4. Beautiful. And then Simon Benoit is in for the injured Brett Pesce with 5 points in 29 games, which is great for a depth defender. Brett Pesce had 14 assists in 39 games played, though, logging major minutes, so we do want him back in the lineup. As for goalies, is now Samsonov in net. He was amazing for us last year. Maybe he can bounce back. And then Hildeby, before going down to his injury, had a .913 still with a .286 goals against average and 2 shutouts. So as I said, he's giving us the opportunity to win. We just needed to seize the moment, and we started doing it for him. Hopefully we get him back soon. But I'm ready to keep going, though. I think this team is doing astoundingly well. Hopefully we keep the momentum going. If we start to stumble up, then I'll start making line changes. Then I'll consider what to do with Fraser Minton on that third pair, because it's not, or that third line, because it's not working. But let's keep moving here against the Vegas Golden Knights. Game 41 of the season, the halfway mark of the season. It's a 5-4 overtime loss. It's a rough game. It's a rough game, but I'm going to give Samsonov another go here against the Chicago Blackhawks. Game 42 of the season. We're still holding on to that point. And Stankoven goes down till the 20th with a sprained ankle. We're going to replace him, and it's a 2-1 loss. You know what? That's a bit of a better game from Samsonov, but Hildeby's back. So let me make some changes. So it is Hildeby back in net, and we have dropped back behind the Panthers. They have 1 point ahead of us for that final wildcard spot. We really need to grind it out here. We really need to grind it out here, especially against the Panthers here at Scotiabank Arena, game 43 of the season. Can we get a win as we lose John Tavares to a concussion? And I got to make some roster moves now. All right, and with Tavares out of the lineup, I've decided to call Easton Cowan back in. He's going to be taking all of Tavares' minutes, plus playing on the second line power play as the main piece. So hopefully he can break that nasty slump he had going. Hopefully he can get going with Grebyankin and Holmberg. And honestly, Holmberg's doing great with 21 points in 23 games. I didn't expect that. not even for the slightest bit. Let's see, though, if we can continue to get some success here. We're going to mix up the lines down with the Marlies. They always do good, so it doesn't really matter there. We won against the Panthers 6-3, so we do reclaim that final wildcard spot. We got to keep going, though. It doesn't matter about getting it right now. We got to make sure that we have it for that 82nd game. I'm not going to squeak back in again. I'm not going to do that. Even though when we did squeak in against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and then we ended up facing the Tampa Bay Lightning, go all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals in that year, I don't want to relive that. I don't want to go through that stress again, guys. Let's go against the Carolina Hurricanes, game 44 of the season. How do we fare? It's a 6-0 loss. Oh my lord, that's terrible. Stankoven's fully healed. We already had him back in lineup. That's fine. We're going up against a back-to-back here against the Blue Jackets and the Islanders. Can Hildeby give us some wins here, or give us the opportunity to? Against the Blue Jackets, we win 3-1. Beautiful. Against the Islanders, how do we fare? Brett Pesce's fully healed. I'll get him back in lines in 1 second. How do we win? We win nicely, 5-3. I didn't mean to say how do we win, but we did win nicely. We're going up against the Panthers again. They're stumbling a bit. We got to seize this opportunity here. We're 4 points back at the Sabres. If we can get a win here, we'll just be 2 points back. Let's see. Can we beat the Panthers in game 47 of the season? We do. A 2-1 win, and look at that. We are 2 points back of the Sabres for that first wildcard spot. We got to keep fighting here. We got to keep fighting against the Devils, game 48 of the season. I'm just going to go till game 50 in this video, and then I will call it quits. I think that's enough time to see what we have here against the Devils, game 48 of the season. How do we do? And we lose Max Ellis and the Marlies. That's fine. We lose Simon Benoit. I didn't get Pesce back in the lineup. We'll just do replace player right now. And we won 5-2 against the Devils. You'll love to see that. We are now tied with the Sabres. They have 2 games in hand, though, so they do have that spot. Let's go against the Edmonton Oilers here. Game 49 of the season. They're doing very well. I mean, they're the top of their division, if I'm not mistaken. They are by a long margin. We need to get a win here. We need to get a win desperately. So against the Edmonton Oilers, game 49 of the season, it's a 4-2 win. Oh my gosh, Hildeby is giving us every opportunity to win. And you know what? Before we jump into this final game against the LA Kings for this video, let's see how this team has done. So we know that Austin Matthews is beast mode right now. Let's see how the rest of the forward core is doing. Matthew Nyes with 14 goals and 39 points in 49 games is great production. He might be on pace to beat what he did last season, especially if he can play the full year. We just got to keep him with the ice time. Obviously, Austin Matthews, 47 goals in 49 games, 74 points total. He is easily going to hit 50 goals because he's only 3 goals shy of it. Easily going to hit 50 goals. And he might hit 70. He might hit 70. God forbid he might hit 80, but we'll have to wait and see. And then Marner, since coming back, he's got 69 points in 46 games. So he's slowed down a bit, but hopefully he picks it up. I mean, he's still doing beast mode too. So Grevionkin on that second line has 32 points in 47 games. You'll love to see that. Easton Cowan finally has points. In fact, he's got 4 points in 6 games since getting called up. That's pretty good production. I'm not going to lie. I like that. Pontus Holmberg with 23 points in 29 games. So that second line's cooled off a bit, but that's fine by me. And then Logan Stankoven, 27 points in 48 games. That's not really the production I was expecting from him, but it's production nonetheless. Fraser Minton with 23 points in 49 games. That's concerning. And then William Nylander is still killing it. 43 points in 48 games on that third line. I mean, we should give him more ice time if we can. I don't know if he's getting upset. He is getting a little upset, so maybe we bump him up. I don't know where we put him. We got to figure it out. You guys let me know in the comments what we should be looking at for line combinations. And then on the fourth line, I follow with 9 points, 49 games. Boxer with 10 points in 49 games. And Robertson with 13 points in 49 games. I hate to have him on the fourth line, but it's really the only place he's doing good. Unless we bump him right there between Stankoven and Nylander and move Minton down to that fourth line, which is a possibility. I'm not ruling it out. Defensively, it is Riley and Nikishin on that top pair, and Riley now has 20 points in 47 games. He's definitely starting to put up points. Nikishin with 35 and 39 is crazy. I love it. I love it. Keandre Miller with 8 points in 39 games and a +8. I mean, I didn't get him to put up points. I got Nikishin to put up points. I got him to be a stalwart, and he's being a stalwart. And then Schneider with 9 points in 32 games and a +8. Those two are doing great. Valimaki with 16 points in 46 games. You'll love to see it. And then Pesce back in the lineup, 14 points in 40 games. You'll love to see that as well. And then the netminders, Hill the Beast. He's still got a .913 save percentage, 278 goals against average, 2 shutouts with 20 wins in 36 games. Have we seen consistent goaltending like this since the days of Frederik Andersen? I do not think so. This guy, as a rookie, is dominant for our team. backing him up, you have Joe Wool. He hasn't really played a game since. He hasn't had to. Hildeby's been taking every start possible. And then John Tavares had 29 points in 43 games before going down to an injury. Really slow production from him. His contract does expire at the end of the year, so maybe we can get him signed cheaper, but I'm not too sure. I'm liking the way this team is producing though. I really am. I really am nervous about putting Robertson there on that third line. I mean, we'd lose that plus at the attribute bonus. I just don't know what else to do. There's not really any other combination aside from putting Minton there. So you know what? This is what we're going to do just for this game. If we lose, it's a sign, but it's going to be Matthew Knies with Matthews and Marner on the top line still. Grebyankin, Holmberg, Nylander on the second line until Tavares comes back. Minton, Cowan, Stankoven on that third line. Not going to give that third line the start. I'm going to give the second line with Grebyankin, Holmberg, Nylander the start. And I think that's how we're going to go into this final game of the episode against the LA Kings. Game 50 of the season. If we win here, we will go into the first wildcard spot as long as the Panthers don't win. Let's see how we do. As is tradition, as I said, we slow in the first and last game, so let's go against the LA Kings. First period. It's a good first period. Pontus Holmberg getting us on the board quick. Pierre-Luc Dubois gets one for the Kings before Matthews makes it 2-1 going into the second period. Shots are 18-6 for your Toronto Maple Leafs. We're outshooting them by 3 currently. That is crazy. Let's go. Second period. All right, so Nylander makes it 3-1 before Kaliev and Trevor Moore make it 3-3, tying it up. We're still outshooting them by double, but they have tied this game up. Let's see how we do. Third period. And it was all gas pedal in the third period. Braden Schneider opens the scoring, followed by William Nylander getting a second of the game, and then Nick Robertson converting. So you love to see that. We win this one 6-3. Finishing off this video here, you love to see that production. You love to see that. And then Nikishin goes down till February 2nd with a mild concussion. Oh no. It's only short term, so we're going to replace player. But look at that. Matthews is only 2 goals shy, of 50 goals on the season. And he could do it in his 51st game. That's crazy to me. But that's going to be it for this video. I know it seems like a bit of a rushed one, but I wanted to make sure that I got something out for you guys today, and I'm still going to be recording for the rest of the night because I have the time. But thank you guys so much for joining me. This has been a blast. Again, if you have any suggestions for what we should do for the lineups, or any moves we should possibly make, any players we should possibly say goodbye from, let me know in the comments down below. I also want to stress that this series is coming to an end. We are hopefully going to win the cup this year. If we don't, we'll only go another 2 years after this one. We're only doing another 3 years total, including this one. So let's see if we can get the cup for this Toronto Maple Leafs team. I believe we can. But that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for joining. If you like this one, please leave a like down below. And let me know it's content you want to see more of. If you really like it,